Hey everybody, we have another cold front rolling in, and I wanted to bring you along, hopefully not blind you too much, but this is the inside of my wood stove is what you're seeing, and we're getting ready for this cold front to roll in, so I'm going to set my stove up right now so that all I have to do is light it, and it should take off from there. We have burned the stove almost 4 days already, because the nights were down in the 40s, the days only went up to the 60s, so we did have to take the dampness and the chill out of the cabin. And it lights beautifully. It works beautifully. It kept the house warm so much better than last year. We froze upstairs, in the upstairs of the cabin last year, and this year it's staying nice and warm. A couple factors come into that. The number one factor would be all the insulation we've been able to get up there this year. And the fact that we got a stove that puts off a steady heat instead of burning everything up within the hour. This stove actually stayed hot 10 hours from one load of wood until I was waiting for it to cool down so I could clean it. And I had to postpone the cleaning of this stove by a day because the stove just did not cool down. It kept putting off heat. And as long as that fan there was going, which is my little heat-triggered fan, as long as that was going, we had heat in the box. And I'm telling you, 10 hours. But we had burned the stove for 4 days at that point. And Jim had gotten up like 2 in the morning, and he had loaded the stove up with wood. And that wood took us till 4 o'clock that night. It was crazy. I was like, this thing ain't cooling down, I gotta get it cleaned, and it just didn't happen. But we had a couple days of warm weather. We had a warm front come through, and I was able to get it cleaned. You'll see some ash in here. When you're running a wood stove, between cleanings, you do not want to take all your ash out. Taking all your ash out actually makes it harder to build up the coal bed, so that you can get through a long cold night. So by having a nice thick layer of ash in there, that actually helps go to the next burn on your stove. How that works, I don't know. That's recommended by the stove manufacturer, and anybody who runs a wood stove will tell you the same thing. Now, my manufacturer of this stove is US Stoves, and they tell you to build your fire from the top down. So what that means is you're going to put your big logs in the bottom, just like that. Okay, I got 2 big logs I'm going to be putting in here. And then I'm going to build my kindling on top of this. And that's going to be my next step here, is to get a couple layers of kindling. And I have little pieces. They're not super small. This is my next layer though. And I'm going to put this in on an angle so it doesn't affect the door. And I'm pulling, okay, I got those 2 logs out of my wood box right there. This stuff is our lumber scraps that we bring in, and that's what I have in this bucket. It's all lumber scraps. This is scraps out of the bottom of the wood box, so it's just sticks and twigs and little bark and some pine needles. That'll be in the top layer. And then I also have just some brown paper that was shipped with something that we ordered, and I just have that crumbled for my top. And what I gotta do right now is get stuff like this for my medium layer here. And you see how I stack it opposite? This goes this way, this one's go front to back. That's so that the wood can breathe, so it can ignite. I'm trying to find big pieces that'll, there we go. I think 3 of them will be plenty. Just gotta rearrange things. There's 3 layers there. Then my next layer will be this stuff right here. It's paper thin, and that's just pieces from the lumber scraps. I actually think I have to break some of these, so I'll be right back. Okay, I got my thinner wood ready to go. Now these pieces right here that I'm using are all pine, And pine is, and so are these middle layers. That's pine as well. Pine is great for starting fires. This is aged pine, so there's no sap in it. It's very, very dry, and it lights beautifully. So I'm going to add the layer of pine, just like this. Again, I'm doing that cross layer. See that? Cross this way. This one went front to back. This one side to side. So we are doing that. And then from here, I'm going to add some of this stuff on top of that. We want that stuff to burn. We have to add, there's my little pile there. We have to add the paper now. Nope, the paper wants to roll off. Oh, that light's not helping me, is it, guys? Let's see. Is that better? There we go. I'm trying to be able to see in my stove. Alright, we got to get this paper situated. And that's going to go on top. Well, there goes the light. And then I'm going to throw a couple more of these sticks on top of the paper. And then my fire is ready to be lit. Now, I won't be lighting it. Lighting it. I will not be lighting it this moment because it's probably 75 degrees out right now. But what I wanted to show you, and I will bring you back for the final part of this, which is lighting the stove. But I wanted to show you how we build the fire. So I can literally light this, wait till the kindlings ignite burning. Once this kindling starts burning, I can walk away from my stove once I close my stove door here. So once I do all that, this stove is going to go for probably hours before I have to add another log. Those 2 logs I put in there will probably last up to 3 hours. Because when I fire this up, we're going to keep it on a low burn just to build some coals so that before we go to bed tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. Before we go to bed tomorrow night, I want this thing with a layer of hot coals so that we can load it up with firewood, damp it down. My damper is down here. One of the other steps to lighting this fire is the damper has to be all the way open. This is open. And then push it in. That's all the way closed. And halfway, all the way open. And that's kind of how that works. Here's a good view of the stack of firewood. So you can see how I've stacked it. Everybody builds their fires differently. I found going by the manufacturer's suggestion for this stove worked really great the first time, so I'm going to use it this next time. Now, once we fire this stove up, we have 10 days where it does not warm up. So this stove's probably going to be going for quite a while. So I'll bring you back when we put the match to it. Okay guys, we are the next day and we're getting ready to light this puppy. There we go. Now we wait and see what happens. We might get a little smoke kicking back because the chimney literally has to warm up. It's already starting to draw, which is wonderful. Alright. Sorry, I'm a little shaky. I'm on my hands and knees here, and I'm not very stable that way. Get me on my butt on my step. There we go. Now we can watch it. If it starts smoking out into the cabin, I will close the door. But look how great that started, guys. My bottom vent down here is open. My sidekick is here. So there's the Thundering Tundra. Thundering is a good name to add to his name. Because, man, when he runs through the house, it sounds like thunder. Alright, we got her going. I'm going to start closing this just a little bit. And see how it goes. I got an audience here. See? He's watching too. That cat was Jim's mom's cat. That's the cat Jim brought home from his trip to Indiana to see his mama. It is 63 degrees out. I know most of you guys up north will think this is hilarious that we're starting a fire at 63 degrees, but it's a very damp cold for us. We didn't expect to start this till later on today, but we decided there's no reason to sit here in the damp and chill when we can have a small fire going and keep that dampness and chill out of the house. See the dust flying around in front of the camera. Alright. It's drawing really good already. It's going to take a little while. It has a pile of kindling up there it has to burn, and then it'll work its way down into the other wood. I can tell you it's already got kindling on fire because the paper's long gone. We struggled to start our other wood stoves. This is so impressive to me. I can't even tell you what a blessing it is to be able to just light it and sit back and watch. And the fact that we can see what's going on in there helps to know where your fire's at. Look at it growing already. Yeehaw! Now my door is not sealed yet, and I'll probably wait just a little longer, then I'll seal it, and I'll be able to walk away and not even worry about it. We are not going to be making this a roaring huge fire. We just want a little heat to take the chill out of the house. Look at that. Guys, I am so impressed with how this works. I'm kicking myself thinking, man, we could have had this from the very beginning. For the money we spent on those 2 used wood stoves, we could have had this stove. I would say we got a fire. What do you think, Mr. Jim?
Looks like a fire to me.
It looks like a fire to him.
Does it smell like a fire?
I don't smell anything yet, even though the door is open. I don't even smell it.
Can't be sure if it's a fire if you can't smell it.
Well, it doesn't have the red oak in. When I put a piece of the red oak in, man, it smells like we've started a smokehouse. It is amazing to smell. We did have a couple pieces of hickory, too, that we burned. And that was, oh my gosh, it smelled so good. Made you hungry. You wanted to pull some smoked meat from somewhere. Not bad for it's actually our second burn, but for the ease of lighting and getting it going. Oh, I can't even tell you how hard we struggled to light our other wood stoves. Say, Jim, oh, it was an absolute nightmare.
Well, yeah, because nothing would actually light and stay lit, and it would smoke in the house immediately.
Yep. We didn't have a good draft or anything on our old wood stoves. This is just amazing. This is what, the 2019 model or 2020 model?
2020 model.
This is the US Stoves 2020 model, and it's a 2,000 square foot rated heater. And we only have 900 square foot, which is why we have to be careful we don't overbuild our fires, because we could cook ourselves right out of here. I think we've done really well overall when we burned it the last time, keeping it down to a very manageable heat. Seems a lot easier on the stove to do that too. Not bad. Alright, guys. I'll try and bring you back. I don't know. I don't think it gets any better than this. To be honest with you.
Half hours when it says it's...
Yeah, they actually say 30 minutes to leave that vent open. But I have that vent open and the door is not sealed. I have not sealed the door. So that's the only thing. And they say 30 minutes to give it 30 minutes of breathing air as a starting point. And then you can start tamping it down or damping it down. It's burning pretty clean. There's some smoke, but not much. There's still a chunk of paper in the back that hasn't even lit yet. Do you hear that, guys? Chirp, 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 chirp. That's my female guinea. Not bad. This has been less than 8 minutes on the lighting process, and look at the fire I have going. Now, I can tell the top is not totally hot yet. It'll probably take a little while because that fan's not spinning yet. Once that fan starts spinning, then you know you're actually putting out heat into the cabin. I could sit here all day watching this. But I'm the type I could sit by a campfire every single night and just enjoy the snapping, crackling, and the heat of the campfire. I absolutely love that kind of stuff. And sadly, we haven't done a whole lot of it. We've had one campfire in 3 years. No, I shouldn't say that. We've had someone Dale came up say. Yeah, we've only had a handful of campfires, though, in the last 3 years. I'd say it's doing really good. It looks like all the kindling has been lit now, and now it's going to the second tier of wood that I put in is where it's at now. Now the nice thing is, because we lit it from the top down, all the hot embers is working its way down into the main logs in the base of this, which will start that igniting as well. I'd say we have a good fire going. I'm starting to feel a little heat, and I'm only, 4 feet from it? So I'm feeling a little bit of heat from it already. I don't know if, can you hear that? Alright, I'm going to close the door. You might see the flame die down just a little bit. Alright, the door's closed. Yeah, look at the handle on my door. Guess who did that? Wasn't me. I don't chew on everything and its uncle. Oh, guys, I gotta show you this. Hold on.
I couldn't resist myself.
Yeah, Jim said he couldn't resist. He had to chew on it. But look how big he's getting, guys. He takes up my whole chair now. Hi, buddy. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? He doesn't like the camera. He doesn't understand it. Are you a good boy? Huh? When it's cool out, he likes to cuddle in my chair with me. Oh, back to my steps so I can watch this. And my wood box is right there. As you see, we did get it refilled. Now I got Cody. So hi, Code. I got Mr. Tundra here. Everybody wants to be with Mommy. Look at this, guys. See if I can... Look how tall he is next to Cody. He's getting there. We have to take him to the vets this month, and they're going to weigh him so that they can make sure he's on the right dosage for heartworm medicine. Now, it has died down quite a bit, which is okay because it's still a nice, strong flame going on there. Now, if it had died down and the flames went out, I would pop that door again and it would take right back off. But because that vent is open there, it's still going to be doing really good. It just slows the burn down to a manageable level. Oh, I'm being pushed. Dude. Duders. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here. And as you can see, it's doing fantastic. The new stove is working wonderful. Now, we have not left any product reviews or anything on this stove yet, because we want to use it at least a month or two so we really get a good feel for the stove. But right now, my opinion is this is a great stove. And, you know, I do have one complaint, and that's the handle. We did have to replace the screw in the handle. And, not sure long term if that's going to be a problem or not. It could just be I put too much pressure on it when I was trying to close it, and I broke the screw off. So we made some adjustments to that, and it's doing better. It's easier to close. But I think we're doing good here with the fire. Alright guys, that's it for our wood stove firing up. Going into a very cold spell here. Tonight's going to be down in the 40s. And we're going to be toasty and warm. Take care and God bless. Stay warm. Winter's coming.